What about you, Professor Kessler?
What?
Well, what do you believe?
I think shit just happens.
Hello everyone, welcome to Get Writing. I'm Dr. Stavros Halvatsis. How can you use character traits to help you manage the protagonist's transformational arc? While it is true that certain genres such as action-adventure or science fiction adopt a more plot-driven approach, others such as romance or literary fiction are more character-driven. All stories, however, require convincing character development to complement an effective plot. Working with character traits lies at the heart of the process. Lagos Egri, the famous dramatist and teacher, reminds us that character-defining traits are characteristics that describe a personality in short strokes: honesty, bravery, miserliness, nobility, steadfastness, cowardliness, and so on. Importantly, most traits have a moral or ethical flavor. To act nobly, for example, is to act ethically, whilst to act in a cowardly manner is to be unlikely to have participated in righteous actions. But how does a coward become courageous or a miser generous during the course of a story? In a word, character growth can be managed by demoting prominent traits within the character while promoting others. Here's how it works. Typically, a traditional protagonist tends to have 3 or 4 positive traits and 1 or 2 negative ones. This clash is essential in creating dynamic characters who experience internal conflict because of contrary traits. A conflicted character is inherently more interesting than a static, stable one. Character change on these terms involves managing the changing emphasis on pre-existing traits. In a story with an up ending, a writer will de-emphasize the protagonist's negative traits and will accentuate positive ones. In a story with a down ending, the negative traits overpower the positive ones. In both cases, traits affect how the character behaves. This realignment of the relative strength of traits may occur when some event pushes the character to the brink, releases some suppressed pain from a past wound, or unleashes some goal or ambition. Macbeth, for example, has all the traits of a great thane: courage, strength, leadership, but also the traits of ambition and ruthlessness. All these traits, the positive and the negative, coexist.
All hail Macbeth that shall be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair?
But the negative traits are initially submerged. They're under control, although noticeable. The idea that Macbeth's destiny to be king, however, soon feeds his traits of ambition and ruthlessness. The idea begins to consume him. It causes his ambition to grow, overshadowing his positive traits. He initially offers token resistance
I'll proceed no further in this business
before quickly succumbing to his negative traits. It's important to emphasize that the suppressed traits which will gain in strength have always been part of the protagonist's makeup, present but not prominent. The inclusion of both prominent and less prominent traits within the character helps to avoid the accusation of character change that comes out of the blue. To restate this important point, the traits that cause behavioral change have always been part of the protagonist, but some major decision, event, or emotional trauma triggers a change in behavior. I offered Macbeth as an example of negative change. Here's an example of a positive change.
It's all simply coincidence. The very fact we exist is nothing.
In the film Knowing, John Kussler, an astrophysicist and atheist who believes in random chance rather than divine guidance, is forced to come to terms with the idea that the future is predetermined when he discovers that the data held in a time capsule buried in a schoolyard 50 years previously accurately predicts global accidents and disasters and ultimately the end of the world. This eventually persuades John to entrust his son's future to a group of alien observers who offer to take the boy, his young friend Abby, and other youngsters to another planet to ensure humanity's survival through their progeny. As a marker of his transformation, John reconciles with his father, a priest, after many years of alienation. His defining trait of belief in the impersonal logic of science has been overtaken by his faith in the benevolence of aliens who he trusts to secure his son's future. This overtaking of one trait by another completes his character arc. To sum it all up then, traits drive the psychological, moral, and spiritual aspects of a character. The character arc, therefore, can be managed by strengthening some of these traits relative to others, moving them up and down the hierarchy of prominence, as it were. This realignment offers the writer a powerful way to manage character change in stories.
When I said it was just us out there, I didn't mean heaven or anything. I'm sure wherever Mom is.
Dad, you don't even believe in heaven.
Well, that's it for now. If you've enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, hitting the like and notification buttons, and leaving a comment to share your thoughts and to help the channel grow. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.